As I'm sure everyone is aware, Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet are now out, and with them come new Pokemon and returning favorites, a new region to explore, new badges to collect, and a new evil team. But most importantly for this video, new raid mechanics and timed events. Though, we should start off with a quick overview of how Terra raids differ from the former generation's Dynamax raids, and then we can discuss how the Charizard the Unrivaled is as a boss. Terra raids are now real-time, instead of only having 10 rounds to KO the boss. There is a bar that constantly drains down even if you're doing nothing. And when it depletes, the boss enrages and yeets you out of his den. Terra raids have a 100% capture rate for guests also, so I can do meme stuff like throw dive balls at fire types when I beat them in the raids. In Dynamax raids, only the host had guaranteed catch rate. Terra Pokemon still shield themselves, but instead of taking no damage for a set number of hits like the Dynamax variant, with Dynamax attacks counting as double from the shields, these Terra Pokemon take minimal damage from unterrestrialized Pokemon until chunking through the shields. As for the generation gimmick, in Dynamax raids, the player who could Dynamax changed every round, and only one person could do it each battle. In Terra raids, everyone can terrestrialize, but you have to get off 3 moves that do damage first, though the boss can steal some of your energy, making you need to do a 4th move. In Terra raids, you can cheer on any of your turns, though with a limit of 3 per player per battle, so 12 in total if everyone's cheering. In Dynamax raids, you can only cheer when KO'd while waiting to respawn. Speaking of being knocked out, in max raids, if you are knocked out, you miss 1 turn and then come back, and if your team gets KO'd 4 times total, you auto-lose regardless of how many turns have passed. And Terra raids being in real time obviously changes this. Now you have a respawn time that starts at 5 seconds, and 5 seconds gets added to each time you are dropped to 0 HP. It also drains a small chunk of the timer each time you are knocked out. And that is the end of all the major changes, but before we continue, please make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you're enjoying the video. Okay, it is finally time to talk about the Charizard event that started in December. This is a super difficult, level 100, perfect IV, modest, solar power beast of a boss. He's a Dragon Terra, turning him into a pure Dragon type, so he only has Dragon type weaknesses and resists, but has stab on Fire, Flying, and Dragon. His moveset consists of Dragon Pulse, Terra Blast, which becomes Dragon, Focus Blast, Fire Blast, Overheat, Inferno, Hurricane, and Sunny Day. In stats and nature aside, though he does have an optimal nature, it's in the moveset that Game Freak, in my opinion, knocked this out of the park. Of course, my thoughts are at least trying to ignore how buggy the raids are online, but they might make me feel Charizard the Unrivaled is tougher than he otherwise would be. This boss being so tightly tuned means that as a party, you have to go in with a plan, or you're just going to get slapped around. And I'm all for it. Charizard learned a thing from Creative Business Unit 3, and starts the fight off with an overheat on a random target, and then purges the attack drop before the party even gets to react, which I was fondly calling the opening tank buster. So preparation also has to take this into account, but the main thing is dealing with the rest of the fight, which means Pokemon that resist or are immune to fire, fighting, flying, and dragon moves. So, first thought is to bring a fairy to at least be immune to the dragon moves. So, something like Dash Bun, with its immunity to dragon and fire through its typing and ability respectively, and resists fighting, sounds like a no-brainer to cheese the fight. However, Hurricane will still 2-hit KO you without screens in the sun, and with screens has a very small chance of 3-hit you. And this is with a positive special defense nature, EVs, and an assault vest, while your player up only has a 2.2% chance of 4-hit KOing a regular Charizard, and the Unrivaled has a bonus 25% max. And once you lose your fire immunity ability, Fire Blast has a 1 in 8 chance of 1-hitting you in the sun, and with Charizard having an Enrage, you can't just turtle forever. So we just go to the other really good fairy for this, Azumarill. While being a water type makes you resist fire blasts, they still do crazy amounts of damage, especially in the sun, and because of Belly Drum. So then you might think of putting up rain to weaken the fire blasts, and also disable Charizard's solar power, But this is where I said earlier the moveset is genius, because now you have to deal with 100% accurate hurricanes, which makes this moveset handcrafted to cover for itself. Though, as it is made to be beaten, there are actual counters to take less damage, namely Light Screen. But the challenge of the raid is in how the raid mechanics and Charizard himself have answers to some of the more common solutions to the puzzles that players might think of. Hopefully going forward, future events are created with as much love and care as this one to give players a proper challenge, and Charizard wasn't a one-off. While the first round of this event will be over by the time this video comes out, I want to hear what kinds of builds and teams you use to take down this formidable challenge in the comments for when he comes back on the 16th. Or maybe even potential 7-star challenges you'd like to see in the future.